welcome each one of you to this two-day CPE conference, which is an interesting conference spanning over 2 days with various subjects covering all the aspects of practice and industry requirements. The broad overview of the structure of the conference is like this. We start off the day with a session on AI, which will be addressed by CA Bharath Rao. And in the second session, it will be on the global capacity centers that will be addressed by CA Gautam Pai from Ahmedabad. The post-lunch session will be handled by CA Guru Prasad, which is on the everyday technology in CA firm. What are the technologies which we need in the practice? And the last session for today would be by CA Jatin Christopher, which is on the new outlook of GST litigation in 2025. With that, we end the day for 27, that is today. And 28, the schedule is like this, which is tomorrow. The first session will be by CAK Gururaj Acharya, which he will be addressing on private limited companies, obligations and privileges in compliance, and now what are the non-compliances and the challenges in the financial statements. After that, it will be CA MP Vijay Kumar, who will be addressing us on accounting for climate changes as per AS as well as on the India AS. The post-lunch session will be handled by CA Dr. Girish Ahuja from Delhi. He will be taking us through on recent issues in capital gains as well as on the charitable trusts. So this will be the schedule for tomorrow. With this now, I request our Vice Chairman Manjunath Hallu to escort CA Bharath Rao to the dais. I also request VC to greet him with a floral bouquet. Bharath, a warm welcome to you and thank you for being with us here. Please take your seat. A quick introduction of Bharath. He is a chartered accountant, CISA, CIPPE, CEH, CHFI, and CFE, various certification courses to his credit. He works as a senior manager with one of the big fours. He is a member of Technology Initiatives Committees of Bombay Chartered Accountants Society. He is passionate about technology, audit, and cybersecurity risks. He has been working in the field of risk management, internal controls, advisory, and assurance since 2013. He focuses on control automation, control testing, and emerging technologies, as well as audits in IT environments. He has numerous trainings and talks to his credit in various seminars and topics such as GRC, digital forensics, blockchain, and concurrent audit in CBS environment. He has written articles on IFSC compliances, information security, international taxation areas too. He has contributed to the guidance note published by ISACA in 2014, which is Guidance to Validate Internal Control Assertions in Indian Financial Reporting. He is a Rashtrapati Puraskar Scout Awardee, highest President's Award for the Scout. He received this award in June 2010 under the presence of Srimati Pratibha Patil in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He also mentors students. His other hobbies includes traveling, and the most interesting thing is water scuba diving diver. He's a trained water scuba diver and has completed 36 dives across the country. It's a privilege to have multi-talented and personality with us. Bharath, thank you for being here and welcome to you. We'll now light the lamp and inaugurate the seminar formally. So I request Bharath and VC to come over to the dais, as well as our managing committee members, CP Jain also.
सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
With this, I hand over the dice to Bharath. Over to you.
Check. A very good morning to all of you today. I would like to thank the Bengaluru Branch of ICA for having me as the speaker on this topic on artificial intelligence. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's truly an honor to be here. I would also like to compliment the team that has designed the topics for the sessions for today and tomorrow, because I was just observing the video that was just being played about the WOFA, right? And the topics that have been selected resembles the overall larger scheme of topics that would be spoken about in the next maybe 34 days at the WOFA, right? We've got topics on sustainability, artificial intelligence, right? And this, in my view, seems to be a very small mini WOFA happening here in Bangalore, and that's why I would like to just share my compliments. Thank you so much for the vibrant selection of the topics for these two sessions. I'm pretty sure everyone is going to benefit from this. Right now, without further ado, I would like to jump into the topic AI Unpacked: Unlocking AI's True Potential. Right? Again, going back to the WOFA. The theme for the WOFA that's going to happen this year is Accountability Meets Innovation, AI, for a Sustainable Planet. So what this means, like the interpretation that I am doing is, this is now an opportunity for all chartered accountants and the students who are doing chartered accountancy to wear their thinking caps. Gone are the days where we have to do routine work. Gone are the days where we do the same monotonous, repetitive work. It is now to actually, the time has come to actually make a difference in the society by being innovative thinkers. And AI, in my view, is going to help all of us a very long way to take us forward. And that's why this topic, as of now, is given so much of importance by the Institute. Right? I was just hearing Sir telling me that the moment a batch for AI is opened by the Institute, it just gets filled in a span of minutes. This is a topic that is being appreciated. This is a topic where everybody wants to learn more and more, right? So, and that's why I just thought I'll make a presentation on the AI. What is AI's true potential? What are the pillars of AI? And how, as chartered accountants, we can make a difference utilizing AI, right? It could be AI for us, it could be AI for others, right? So, what we will be covering today is basically 6 things. The first one is the basics of AI. The second one, we will talk about a few AI technologies. Don't worry, I promise to make it really simple. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to connect with me after the session, or you can just ask the questions during the session, and I'll be happy to answer. But it's important that we understand the technology. Point number 3, we will talk about a little bit more about GPT technology, a closer look. Fourth is the AI principles, the foundation for responsible AI. In fact, the term responsible AI is a term that is being widely used. Even if you go to the WOFA website, you will see the president of ICA talking about responsible AI, right? Number 5, AI applications across industries. And 6th, AI's value proposition for chartered accountants. For a chartered accountant, understanding AI and its potential is essential for navigating and thriving in this modern business environment. Gone are the days where people want to do the work monotonously. Gone are the days where there used to be a long time for making decisions. It's all shortened, right? And that's why we also, as accounting professionals and auditing professionals, need to evolve. This presentation will demystify AI, explore its principles, and provide certain insights, which you may find it as actionable, right? So I want to start my presentation with this quote. I was actually reading about this quote a few days back, right? Artificial intelligence is no longer confined to science fiction or niche academic discussions. What it means is it is no longer theoretical. It is happening. We are amidst AI right now. We have got smartphones that have got AI. So if I say the term, okay, Google or Siri, I don't know how many phones will get unlocked, and you will hear the mobile assistant talking back to us, right? It has permeated virtually every industry and reshaping the way businesses operate. Because AI has been recognized as a wonderful tool, it is empowering and energizing different industries to evolve their business practices. And this is something that is very welcome. This is a brilliant quote that I had come across on AI. And do you want to know who gave this quote? Who published this quote? ChatGPT. I got this quote from ChatGPT. So AI is basically giving content for speakers like me who want to speak on AI. That is where AI is. AI is no longer theoretical. It is right here. It's right behind me. It's in front of me. It's around us. So first thing we as chartered accountants need to do is we need to embrace that technology is not a bad thing. Artificial intelligence is not a bad thing. It does not mean that you will be replaced. It just is a helper to enhance and emphasize the point that or the messages that you're trying to convey. Just as how I used AI, I did not let it replace me, but I'm using it as an enabler to better convey the communication that I intend to do, right? So this is basically AI. So what is AI? Let's just ask a couple of questions to ourselves, or I'll ask it to you, or I'll speak about it myself, and let's try to get the answers. What is AI? Artificial intelligence is a field of computer science dedicated for creating machines. When we say machines, we're talking about computers that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, right? It is about enabling computers to think and act and mimic more like humans. So before AI, what used to be there? We have computers, right? AI is a topic. ChatGPT has come probably during COVID or just after COVID. Don't you think computers were doing something super complex before? Yes, computers were capable of doing something super complex. But just like us poor chartered accountants, even the computers were doing single monotonous tasks. We used to tell the computer, this is our trial balance. You move the GLs to the balance sheet, to the asset side, to the liability side. These are single repetitive tasks which does not require thinking, because the thinking has been done by the humans, right? But those activities also were complex. It is just that we have figured out a way to to basically unleash the potential of the computing power that there is. And AI is one of the ways where we as humans have been successful, right? Now, that means it's a very good thing for us. We have our brains, at the same time we have got AI's brains, and together we can make a dashing combination and make a world of a difference to everyone, right? So artificial intelligence is a field of computer science dedicated for creating machines, programs, computers that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. But I would like to emphasize that AI can never replace the natural judgment what a human being will have, right? The way I look at AI is a super smart Einstein of a kid, which is maybe about 4 years old. We have a young Einstein next to us, full of potential. Theory of relativity, the young Einstein can speak at the age of 4. The only thing we need to do is we need to nurture young Einstein. We need to take care of young Einstein. We need to channelize the energies and showcase the young Einstein to the right direction, right? When we talk to the kid nicely, when we basically tell, okay, Einstein, do this. This is the way you start. This is the way you think. This is your factors. This is your probabilities. Tell me, what do you think? Then Einstein will listen to you without any question. So what AI is basically is a young Einstein next to us, a power that we can control, a young kid that is very happy to do work or to talk to you based on the problems that you have. That is AI, right? How is AI different from standard programs? That's our second question. We can look at it from 6 areas: programming, behavior, adaptability, problem type learning, and main approach. You may also think I made a mistake of putting the bold in the standard program section as against the artificial intelligence section, but no, that is an intentionally made mistake here, because we need to understand how standard computer programs work. Like I said, they're very monotonous. There are explicit rules and instructions given. What happens when I open WhatsApp? WhatsApp only will open. It will not open YouTube. It's a specific set of instructions given to the computer, right? If I open camera, camera only will open. When I click a photo will get clicked, not a video, unless you hold the shutter button for continuously, right? These are specific instructions given. Now, if you have an AI-enabled thing, and let's just assume that AI has a certain degree of control on my phone. Let's say there is a wonderful moment I'm having with my family, and I'm holding my phone. AI would be smart enough to activate the camera, click a photo, a candid photo, and maybe make a post of it on Instagram for me, right? That is the difference between a standard program and an artificially intelligent supported programs. They are predictable. Standard programs are limited and cannot adapt to new situations. They are well-defined and specific problems. There is absolutely no learning from experience, and it is completely rule-based. Our fundamental accounting assumptions: accrual, going concern, and consistency, right? A standard program is the most consistent thing you can find on a computer. And we as auditors have been auditing such programs as well, as part of financial reporting, as part of internal audits, as part of IFC reporting, SOX, and things like that. So the first problem that we as chartered accountants are going to face is, how are we going to audit programs that are capable from learning on their own? We are used to auditing something that is consistent. We are used to auditing something that is uniform and standard. But now we are auditing a totally different type of a program, which is capable of understanding the scenarios with limited input and executing the right decisions. So there is going to be a major shift in the way how we audit financial statements. Probably in the next 2 years or 3 years, we will find AI, very cheap AI solutions, inexpensive AI solutions being used by mid-sized businesses. Probably they may have exposure to IFCs as well. What as auditors are we going to do? We need to opine on the control. So that's why engaging in topics like AI, participating in CA courses which are focused on AI is going to make a world of a difference, right? We will talk about audit in a bit, right? But I just wanted to make you guys understand how is a standard program, which is a consistent uniform program, different from an artificially intelligent supported programs. How did AI evolve? It started with a rule-based AI. Oh, sorry, my apologies. It started with the rule-based AI. Let me just get the laser pointer. Systems that follow predefined rules basically are standard programs, are legacy programs. Then we went into machine learning, where these programs are given a small, push. Okay, you do what you're supposed to do, but learn a little bit from it. That's basically machine learning. Then you have got deep learning, which is basically machine level taken to another level, right? And then now finally, we have generative AI, which is a program which can stand on its own in an independent manner. That's basically a distinction. But don't worry about all these jargons. All we need to know is we have a young Einstein next to us who needs to be loved, who needs to be taken care of, maybe by the accountant, maybe by the company, and we need to make sure we take it to the doctor and make sure the right diagnosis is done when it's not well. That's basically us as auditors, right? So don't worry about the fancy terms. My thumb rule is this: the more fancier the term, the more easier the concept is to understand. So I don't tend to break my head on technical concepts, technical terms. Let's talk about technologies. We will be talking about maybe 2 or 3 technologies, which I feel is something we need to know. Again, we'll not go too deep in understanding how the technology works, right? But before we go there, I wanted to just showcase one video, right? How many of, okay, now we have got very good internet services and all that, but maybe 3 years, 4 years, just maybe prior to COVID, internet services were, it was a privilege maybe. It was a difficult thing to have consistently. We used to get 50 Mbps, but when we actually download, it's like 10 Mbps, right? So during those bad days of internet, how many of you have played the dinosaur game on the Chrome browser, where you press the space bar and the dinosaur jumps on cactus? How many of you have done that? There we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wonderful, right? So I just wanted to just take you through one video on machine learning, right? It's a 10-minute video. I will give you guys, I'll paste the link of the video on the deck, but we'll just maybe fast forward through it so that you can understand what AI is doing, right? So let me just go to that video real quick.
That's why you see the players slightly separate when they jump. I don't know, I find it interesting, but I'm a nerd, so.
Second. Normal. Oh, here we go. So this is a very familiar screen. Whenever the internet goes in our Chrome browser, we get a dinosaur game, right? The objective of the game is simple. We are humans. The moment a cactus comes near the dinosaur, meaning when the dinosaur runs towards the cactus, it's supposed to jump. If you hit the cactus, you die because you get hurt, right? So there is this person who made a program using AI language and all those things, where the computer learned dying is a wrong thing. Let us start avoiding these cactuses, right?
And wait for it. That's a bird. And if you're really good, you can duck under him. Whoo, you're nice. Okay, game is done. Now let's get to the bit you guys have been waiting for, the AI. Each generation contains 500 players, each control.
So what you're seeing here is, you can see there are multiple dinosaurs, right? So that's a good thing about computers. If I'm trying to learn something, I have only one chance. 1 second, I can read maybe 100 words. But in computers, I can create 100 different versions of me, and each version will learn something else, and ultimately, I will understand everything. So that's basically what's happening. There may be about 1,000 or 100 dinosaurs jumping. And what you can see on the top is height of the obstacle, width of the obstacle, bird height, speed, player's position, gap between obstacle, bias, small jump, big jump, or a duck. These are the 3 options that the dinosaur can do. These are the factors the program has to learn, right? So we can see what happens when I continue.
Following a dinosaur, classic genetic algorithm. So the players which do the best live on to reproduce, and the same thing for the next generations, and rinse and repeat until you have a bloody beast. The first few generations is just the players holding down the jump button, which is a decent strategy if you suck. And as you can imagine, at this point it's just about luck. They don't care about where the obstacles are, they're just hoping they match up with their jumping cycles. This continues for quite a few generations.
You can, on the bottom right, you can see the word generation. It's like the next batch of dinosaurs
Now
which is
we're
going
talking.
to learn.
This guy finally has the patience to wait until the next obstacle is close enough before jumping. If you look at the neural network at the top, you can see that it uses the distance to the next object to calculate when to jump. All right, let's speed this up because these games get long.
So what's happened is, there is a relation between the obstacles or the problems on the left and what should be the solutions on the right. This is something that was determined by the program on its own. It was not given by the programmer. After maybe 7 generations of maybe 7,000 dinosaurs, which maybe happened in like 3 minutes right now, the computer figured out that, okay, this is probably the approach it should follow statistically to ensure survival, right? So that's basically what's happening.
Now this
over
guy's
here.
pretty good, but not full.
This is just an example given from a game perspective. But we are basically persons who can understand business, we can understand audit, we can understand laws as well. So the perspectives that we bring to the table to our clients is quite unique. So what we should do as chartered accountants right now is always identify problems for the clients. I mean, don't tell it to them. Try to see what are the areas in which clients can improve, and maybe start thinking, put your thinking caps on from an AI perspective. How can AI help? And the thumb rule is this: whenever we start thinking about AI, we'll be like, "Arey, who will do it? It's a very difficult thing." Believe me, and I want all of you to promise yourselves, whenever you have such thoughts, the technology is there to help you, and it's always going to be an easy to a medium effort ka solve. This is basically drawing down the experience that I have seen other companies do. We talk about things, usually because we have not been exposed, we have not been working on that field, we tend to, downplay our thoughts itself. I'm telling you, it's not. It's worthwhile having a conversation with the client, and the client will make sure their IT teams get this done. So any thoughts you may have in solving these problems, maybe from a machine learning perspective, maybe from an AI perspective, please don't keep it to yourself, share it. Though you may seem that the idea may be ridiculous, the idea may be small, the idea may not make sense, it's not practical, it's very difficult to develop. Obviously, we are not tech IT people, we are accountants. But we have an IT team, maybe at the client's place, who will understand this better and figure out a way to make your thought a vision into a reality, right? So that I just wanted to showcase what actually happens. In this case, the computer learned when to jump, when not to jump, right? Now, this is a technology known as machine learning, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start from neural networks and go all the way down to machine learning. Again, keeping it really simple. Neural networks, they are core of the modern AI. These models simulate the human brain's interconnected neurons, allowing systems to recognize patterns and make complex decisions. For a chartered accountant, neural networks are powerful tools for predictive analytics, anomaly detection, and risk assessments. To make it really simple, what I'm doing right now is not a single task. I am trying to coordinate my eye movement, my hand movement, my speech. So what's happening in my brain is there are different parts of the brain coordinating and working together to execute different functions simultaneously, right? Right now, I'm looking at you, I'm hearing feedback. If I go to back, I hear my voice less, my body automatically adjusts. Everything is happening automatically. I know when to snap, right? Why is that happening? Because different parts of the brain works in different ways, but ultimately come together. The similar concept is applied in technology, right? There are different aspects of technologies working together, solving different problems, but together. So especially when we have complex data environments, large data sets, maybe qualitative data, quantitative data, there are different forms of data sets involved, neural networks technologies come and play a huge role in it. That's basically neural networks. What problems can it potentially solve? Predictive analytics in audits. Analyze various data sets to forecast trends and identify anomalies in financial statements, right? Fraud detection systems. Using neural networks to detect unusual transaction patterns and reducing fraud risks. Risk modeling. Employ neural networks to predict claim probabilities and set premiums. This is basically from a banking perspective. It can analyze different forms of data at a snap of a finger and make a prediction that this may happen. A prediction is always on a probability. It may happen. It's not a certainty. If it becomes a certainty, then we have created God. Then I don't know what we are doing here, right? So it's always a probability. Some neural network tools are, and these are some things that you can Google. That's why I've put it in a bigger font. TensorFlow, PyTorch, Microsoft Azure ML. So whenever you Google something, you'll get their website. Again, if it is something too technical, copy paste that URL, go to ChatGPT, paste it, and tell that ChatGPT, explain to me what the website does. That's another way for you to understand these technologies better. Large language models. These are advanced neural networks trained on vast amounts of text-based data to understand and generate human language. They are used to understand and generate human language. It's basically a means. It's basically a means or a medium where a human can talk to a non-human, right? Otherwise, the way we interact is by touch screen or camera or keyboard. That was an input, right? Now we have a different way, which is called text-based inputs. They excel in automating documentation, analyzing documents, answering and responding to queries or communications. What problems can it potentially solve? Communication automations. LLMs draft responses to queries and communication, improving turnaround times. To simplify this, your client receives a notice, a show cause notice from a tax authority. You don't have time for it, your teams also don't have time to it, but what if your program can consume the notice, understand what the problem is? Your program is capable of understanding your client's financial information because it's stored with you, a copy of it is in your tally systems, right? And based on that, it is able to generate a response, which obviously needs to be validated. Let's not ignore the validation part. That's basically LLM. The potential is superb. Document analysis, you give a report to it. Like I just gave you an example. There is a URL, I don't understand it, make me understand. That's basically your example number 2. Content summarization. You have a book to read, maybe a Singhania's tax book. Maybe you can upload the last year's Singhania version and this year's Singhania's tax book version and can you tell me the differences, what has changed in both these books? AI, LLM will be capable of doing that analysis and maybe giving you a 10-page summary, which again, you can convert it into a presentation and speak like me over here, right? Again, the tools that are there is ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, then we have got Azure, Microsoft Copilot. All these are tools which will help you. Natural language processing enables machines to understand, interpret, and generate human language. Applications include summarizing financial reports, extracting insights from unstructured data, and identifying key trends in regulatory changes, right? NLP can also empower CAs to efficiently review lengthy documents, ensuring compliance and accuracy, right? Sentiment analysis, it can understand client feedback. What if you're having a Teams call? We have a bot listening to you. It sees your video reaction. It hears what you have spoken. It sees the messages that have spoken, and you'll get a report. Okay, this person was actually interested. This person was not. This may seem a very theoretical thing to do, but we have got companies based out of Bangalore developing such solutions, right? It's called sentiment analysis. This is just from a Teams perspective, Microsoft Teams, but there are different ways in which sentiment analysis can be done. data extraction, regulatory monitoring. Some of the tools are Spacey, Natural Language Toolkit, and Hugging Face Transformers. Again, Google it. I'm just going to give an intro. Let's not go too technical. The point is, with these three technologies, anything is possible. Sun is the limit. Or no, sun is not the limit. It's beyond the sun now, right? The multi-universe, that's the limit. Gen AI is basically what the technology has reached to right now. We are comfortable with Gen AI. It's a fancy lingo being used, yes. What we need to do is understand how this AI works. It generates artificial intelligence. It's a type of machine learning that uses AI to create new content like text, images, music, video, and audio, and codes like I showed you. It can generate reports, it can generate visualizations, scenario planning. Again, these are just examples, but it can do much more, much, much more. What are the tools that use this technology? We have got technology like DALL-E, Adobe Firefly, Canva, Jasper AI, ChatGPT, Copilot. Again, they use basically generative AI. In fact, what companies are doing right now is they are taking their accounting software, they're adding AI into it. How? The AI will generate the source code on a real-time basis, meaning the program will learn, will modify the way how it's processing the input data, maybe how it's approving a purchase order. It determines that, okay, this is a super high value PO. This type of PO has never come to us. It uses Gen AI, figures out a new approval hierarchy or approval mechanism, makes the changes and gets it live. What I'm speaking to you right now is an application evolving on its own with the help of something like Gen AI, and this is something which is possible. It is no longer probable, it is possible, it is happening as we speak. And this becomes a challenge for us from an auditing perspective. How do we know what has changed from an AI, right? And that is why we have something known as the, I'm just going to one more section, which is the foundations or the AI principles. Whenever an AI works, there are basically about 8 or 9 principles that we need to follow. The first one being accountability. The AI needs to be accountable for their outcome, right? The CAs must ensure AI-driven decisions align with ethical standards and regulatory requirements or companies' policies. Auditing AI models for bias in loan approvals ensures accountability. This is just an example from a loan perspective, but basically there's a bias in the data, right? So there should be accountability, there should be oversight, there should be data protection. How are you protecting the data? There are regulations like GDPR and India's own DPDPA Act, which is talking about you need to protect confidential information, right? There should be encryptions. We need to protect sensitive data. Reliability. Is the AI reliable? Is the AI secure? Don't worry, I'll explain this. Is the AI transparent? This is very important because transparent AI systems provide clear explanations for their decisions. So the question is, okay, the AI has taken an approval, has given an approval for a PO. So we can ask the AI, what was your basis? What did you consider? And if it's able to showcase that it had taken those factors while approving the PO, then fine, we can rely on it. So these are the questions that we need to ask. It should never be a post facto thing, right? Like I said, it's no longer doing a consistent, simple, repetitive job anymore. It is learning on the job. Just as our students learn when they work, just as how we learn when we continue to work, right? Learning is always there. So being transparent is a very important feature of the AI. These are all different pillars, right? Explainability. This itself is a pillar. Explainability ensures AI outputs are understandable. AI models should clearly outline how conclusions were reached. It aids in client communication. It helps identify errors or biases in AI decision-making processes. It should be explainable. It should be reliable. It should be transparent. And we as CAs should be in a position to understand it, right? Fairness, compliance of the laws, and then sustainability, right? So these are basically the pillars, but we will talk about it a little bit more. The reason why I had to jump a little bit is when tools like GPT is being used, when tools like generative AI, which uses GPT, is being used, we have something which is never consistent anymore. We have an always evolving program. So the first thing that we need to do as chartered accountants is understand how this tool works. If everyone has got a ChatGPT account, please utilize it. If you don't have a ChatGPT account, just open your WhatsApp and you will find, let me just show you here. You will find Ask Meta AI or Search. You can ask your questions over there. You have a generative AI on your WhatsApps itself. Understand how it works. Maybe start with simple basic questions. But again, remember, you're talking to a young Einstein. So the more details you give, the more you structure your questions, the better the question, the better the response. So one, AI will also learn. Two, we will also learn. And that, the activity of learning how to ask the right questions is known as prompt engineering. You ask the right prompt, you ask the right question. Okay, Einstein, think you are a fire truck driver. How will you put out a fire that is caused by a chemical burning, a plastic burning, right? You ask the questions, make him assume roles, and then it will, give you the responses. If you just tell how do you put out a fire, it'll tell throw water. But you give a more specific question, you'll get a better specific response. That's what generative AI will do. It is capable of thinking independently, right? What is a prompt? Effective use of AI requires crafting precise instructions or questions or statements, which is known as prompts, to achieve the desired outcomes. CA can leverage prompt engineering to extract relevant insights from AI tools. Understanding how to fine-tune the prompts can be a valuable skill in maximizing the utility, right? What should I keep in mind when prompting the AI? Let's not be ambiguous. Let us be very specific in our requests. So it's not that the AI is also learning. By doing prompts, we as CAs indirectly also learn. And the best part is we don't have to put any effort to learn something new. We may be learning something technical, but we are not realizing that it is technical. So it's a very friendly way to learn and to embrace AI. What are the tools utilizing this technology? We've got OpenAI Playground, Claude, and again, ChatGPT's API, right? Again, don't worry about this. You have ChatGPT on your phone, you have the Meta AI on your phone, Twitter has got Grok, and there are so many tools available. Ask different questions. Maybe what I used to do is I asked the same question to 3 different AIs, compare the result. That's how I started learning. It made me understand which AI is more credible, which AI is not credible, right? Then I started fine-tuning the questions and seeing which AI was learning faster. These are some of the exercises I used to do so to understand and make a choice which AI I should rely, what is the inputs I need to take. It's not that I should always rely on AI number A or AI number B. You can take the best of all the 3-4 AIs that are available, because right now this technology is easy to access, right? So like I said, the better the question, the more you love your young Einstein, the more you take care of your young Einstein, the better the response. And the technology which enables generative AI to work right now is called GPT. Generative Pre-trained Transformer. A transformer is an architecture that relies on attention mechanisms to process sequences of data such as text. Transformers are foundational to many state-of-the-art models like NLP, including GPT, right? We have to tell the AI how to think. It has the ability how to think, so we have to just navigate. Okay, first you take this, 5 plus 4 is 9. Take 5 in the hand, 4 in the mind, after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's exactly what we need to tell the young Einstein over there. Key features. A GPT is learning so much because there is massive amounts of training data. ChatGPT had access to almost everything on the internet until 2021. Somehow the team was able to, OpenAI was able to, index and catalog all the information, and the programs were actually spending months and maybe weeks together understanding how the how to interpret the information and all. And that's why when it got released, it was such a big hit. It learns by evaluating a lot of training data. It also is made aware of different contexts. That's where the human aspect comes in. And 3, it is highly scalable. It is highly scalable. Because if I have to think, if I have to solve a problem right now, maybe a complex problem will take me a couple of hours and I'll be tired at the end of the day. But with AI, I can just do Control C, Control V. I can have 2 Einsteins, I can have 1,000 Einsteins. It is very easy, all with the same amount of learning. That's how technology is a friendly thing for us chartered accountants, right? Applications, again, audit documentation, regulatory analysis, training and education, future potential. As GPT models continue to evolve, their integration with domain-specific data sets could further enhance their relevance for CAs, offering even greater precision and utility in specialized applications. One such example is ai.icai.org/CAGPT, where you go to where an institute has taken a premium subscription with ChatGPT and has fed context-specific text like ICAI laws, Indian accounting standards, Indian auditing standards. You ask a specific question, hey, ChatGPT, tell me something specific on SA 230 audit documentation. It'll tell you everything. It'll tell, okay, you may give a scenario-based question. I have, my policy says to retain all work papers for 3 years, but due to an earthquake, I have lost certain documentation. What should I do? Or I realized I made an error prior, after issuing the audit opinion. How do I unarchive my work papers and, update the corrections as per the auditing standard? ChatGPT will tell it to you, right? So this future potential, I called it as a future potential is because it is already here. It's now a potential, right? And I'll just give you a thing. I hope ChatGPT opens because it was having an outage today. You just go to Explore GPTs. This is the best thing that you can do. Go to Explore GPTs, Tutor Me, Scholar GPT, Image Generator, Write for Me, Logo Creator, DALL-E. Okay, let's say I want to learn something on education. Universal Primer, the fastest way to learn anything hard or maybe lifestyle. Travel guide, I'm going traveling maybe to Azerbaijan, make me an itinerary. So there are focused, context-based GPTs available right now, and they're completely free to use, play with them. Ask it something where you already know the answer to, so you can validate how how you have to modify the question, how you have to tweak the question to get the same answer back, right? The better the question, the better the response, right? And I think CA's, here we go. ICAI AASB GPT, official ICAI GPT for Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. So it's already here. So coming back to the principles, this section number 4 is something which all of us need to understand. Again, understanding it technically is a very different aspect. We are functional people. We do sample-based approach. We do reasonable assurance. So it's very important we understand the fundamentals. We need to know that blue and yellow make green. We don't need to know how much quantity of blue and how much quantity of yellow is needed to make to get the different shades of green, right? We just need to know the principles. So these principles are going to help us accomplish 2 things. The first thing, how the AI works. How is the AI operating, right? The second thing that it's going to help us establish is how can we audit the AI if we are performing a financial audit? What sort of, I can translate this question to, how can I help our client better secure their AI so that A, they can achieve their business objectives, B, help the auditors as well, right? If you understand these principles, believe me, any AI will be a very simple thing to understand. Always keep, it's basically the lens in which we observe the AI. That's the way we need to look at it. Like I said, the first thing is accountability. Is the AI accountable for the outcomes? I'm not telling hold the collar. Basically, we should be aware that is the AI capable of giving you how it came to the answer, right? How did it give its output as such, right? CES must ensure that AI-driven decisions align with ethical standards and regulatory requirements. Auditing AI models for bias is also an important thing. There is something known as data bias. See, humans are also biased. Inherently, we are always slightly prejudicial. We are slightly favoring something else, and that's human nature. And what AI is, it's artificial intelligence. It's mimicking a human. The only difference is when I speak to somebody, I can understand the body language, I can understand and figure out how this person is perceiving this information. Is he taking it in a good way or in a bad way? But in AI, there's nobody standing in front of us. There's just a screen like this, and you have an outcome. We don't know how it is treating that information. Is it taking it in the right spirit? Is it giving in the wrong spirit? Is it favoring something else? We have no way. There is no feedback. There's no psychological feedback or a human feedback coming. So there is always something known as a bias. There's something known as a data bias, right? We as chartered accountants, especially when decision-making AI systems are there, we have to ask these questions. How are you accounting for data bias? What do you think are the potential biases that could happen? Maybe in a PO approval, favoring a certain supplier, because the AI has figured out you're taking a lot of purchases from vendor A and vendor B. But when vendor C has given you a quote, the AI may ignore vendor C altogether, right? It could be because of a bias, right? So A, we should have the ability to think what are the data points that could be misinterpreted. B, we can ask the clients and make us understand how they manage the data biases. And that's how AIs can be held accountable. Maintaining oversight, then is data protection. This is about protecting data. Data is the new oil for organizations. Even if there's a single data split up, even if there's a single data slip up, it could cost the companies millions, right? We know how much we have to pay when there's an insider trading, identified by SEBI, right? So data is as valuable as that. AI must comply with data privacy regulations. It should know where to draw the line. In fact, what had happened was, I think this was in maybe about 15 years back. This is a company known as Target or Walmart, I don't remember. It's one of the retail markets in the US, right? So what had happened was, for one of the customers, they've got sophisticated marketing systems. So one of the customers, it sent a marketing kit home telling that there is 20% off on maternity wear, 30% off on maternity stuff. It went to the father of the poor girl, okay? So the father was like, hey, daughter, are you pregnant? The daughter is also like, I don't know, I don't think I'm pregnant. But what had happened was, the computers analyzed the buying patterns. Maybe the daughter preferred, changed its preference from chocolate A to chocolate B, right? Whenever someone goes into pregnancy, there's a change in what that person would want. The computer figured out that something has happened. It may be a pregnancy, and it sent a pregnancy-based marketing campaign to that daughter. Turned out that the daughter was pregnant. She didn't know about it. Her father didn't know about it. And this became the news. You can Google this out. You can find the information online. So where do we draw the line? How much of privacy can we invade? We meaning how much of privacy? How much should Einstein know? It's a kid at the end of the day, right? Sometimes it may not understand what to do with the data. There are certain things we don't tell young kids, right, until they're 12 or 18. Same logic holds good over here, right? AI systems must comply with data privacy. They must encrypt and protect client information. Why? Because it's a kid, it can drop the data, it can go anywhere, it may leave its toys here and there. So you have to tell it, whatever info you give, you need to keep it carefully, right? CS can also advise clients in implementing data anonymization techniques. Reliability, accurate results, critical in applications for financial forecasting. CS must assist in testing and validating these AI systems and ensure dependable results under various scenarios. Reliability is also an important thing. Security, this is where cyber security and info security functions come in. We as CAs need to know what are the different security frameworks there are, like the NIST framework, ISO, ISMS, cloud security framework, CSF, right? There's so many frameworks available. Again, we need not go too much in depth. The fact that we are aware about it, maybe we can have our juniors play with the document and understand more about the framework and explain it to us, right? If we are not aware what can go wrong from an information security standpoint, then maybe we are not where we are supposed to be. So I would urge everyone to spend some time understanding a little bit more about information security. They're quite simple. It's not technical. The bare standard is actually like reading a bare act. It's that simple. Security assessment should include vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, which need not be done by a CA. We have got ethical hackers who can help you, encryption protocols and authentication methods. Transparency, again, clear explanations of decisions. Transparency build trusts with the client, with the CA, with other programs, ensures regulatory compliance. It should be explainable. There are statistical models, so it's always a good thing if a CA knows statistics, especially theories like logistic regression, correlation and regressions, curve fitting, skewness, moments, curtices, hypothesis, testing of hypothesis. All these basic statistic concepts can take us a long way. We need not learn advanced statistics here, but if you know a little bit, we may be in a position to better understand what the AI developers are trying to tell us, right? And these things are taught to us in like 11th and 12th. Fairness, compliance, and sustainability. From an auditing perspective, what I'm going to do is, there are these mandatory reading material. These are certain links that I've kept. Please go through it at your time, because there's much content to be spoken from each link. But my point is, PCAOB, UK regulations, regulators, my apologies, ISACA, even ICAI for that matter, are coming up with procedures, what to do in auditing an AI. This is something that we must understand. But the gist is this. If you look at the third box below, unlike testing of an automated control where the feature tested is constant, AI controls involve testing of features which are constantly evolving. In addition of testing the normal IT general controls of the AI, the approach of functional testing of the AI must consider the responsible AI principles, right? Please know that this is not the traditional form of control testing anymore. If you understand the principles, you'll be able to test the AI. AI in industries, we have got finance. It's already making a big difference in fraud detection, risk assessment, portfolio management, regulatory compliance, and forecasting. What I've done is, I've also written the names of certain companies already utilizing AI over here and what they're doing, right? Financial services, we have got chatbots, and again, we've got some Indian companies which are already there, right? So there's an Indian company and a non-Indian company. We've got loan processing. In fact, during my articleship, I had the opportunity for auditing a company based out of Koramangala, which was going through loan applications using AI and ML. It was fun. Insurance claims, KYC automation, and personalized banking. From a supply chain perspective, we have got inventory management, route optimization, demand forecasting, supplier evaluation, and risk mitigation. From a transportation perspective, we have autonomous vehicles. We have got the Teslas already there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get an Indian company here yet. Fleet management, traffic predictions. In fact, I should have written Bangalore, where we have got the VAC traffic cameras over here, right? Predictive maintenance and smart logistics. From a technology, media, and communication perspective, content personalization, Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, Jio, Ghana, they're all using AI for content recommendations, ads targeting, IT support, content creation, and for cyber security. Again, I'm not going much in depth. The idea is simple. AI is already taking over each of these fields in its own way, right? It could be ad targeting, it could be traffic predictions, it could be fleet management, container management, truck management for that matter, demand forecasting. Now we have the December sale going on. Just prior to that, we had the Black Friday. Just prior to that, we had the Big Billion Day. Just prior to that, we had the Diwali sale, right? How much of inventory we need, everything can be understood by patterns. Value proposition for CA, enhancing CA process, automation, audit efficiency, automation of routine tasks like bookkeeping. Many of us would be doing bookkeeping for our clients. It's simple, write a Python script, it'll understand, go through your bank transactions and make it into apply the single bookkeeping accounting principles and generate your tally accounting entries. Auditing efficiencies, it can help you plan your tolerable errors, planning materiality, samples, how many samples to test per month. It'll also help you do vouching because it can read your invoice, it can read the voucher and match it to your accounting transaction. Tax litigation, predictive analytics, where there is a potential for a fraud. Use theories like Benish's model, Benford's law can be applied in analyzing financial statements of maybe 3, 4, 5 years and understand, okay, this is probably an area, this GL is probably an area where something may go wrong, right? Resourcing, how to resource our team members for different engagements. So the idea is this: the routine tasks, the mundane tasks that we do, let's give it to the AI. Let us focus on something more strategic. This is how we can enhance our value, our efficiency in our own offices. But it should not stop there. It should also go one step further in helping our clients as well, right? Just as how we have benefited AI, let's share the good stuff with our clients as well. We can help our clients, evaluate their AI solutions. Why? We understand their business. We know how they're being accounted for. We know their laws. So we are ideally the best placed consultants to help them, select their AIs, right? And again, when you're selecting your AIs, please stick to the 10 principles that I've just explained, right? Risk mitigation. CAs can identify risks such as data breaches or model biases in client AI implementations. For example, they may evaluate AI-driven credit scoring system to ensure it complies with anti-discrimination laws and cybersecurity practices. Even if we ignore the cybersecurity aspect, if you are able to tell the client that, hey, there is a potential data bias over here, these are the questions we need to ask to evaluate the potential bias of the data for the AI. The client will value those inputs like anything and will translate into big paydays. Process optimization. AI can understand your processes. There's a thing called as process mining, where it will go through your transactions and make a process. AI will be in a position to optimize it and make it better, right? Strategic insights and compliance assurance, right? These are simple stuff. Again, like I said, the more complicated the term, the simpler it is to understand. As a homework, what I would urge everybody to do is maybe take the help of our articleship students, because A, they have a lot of potential. B, they love technology. C, let us help them, let us make them our young Einsteins. Let them do something on AI for you. Maybe a project in which they take it from an AI perspective and you understand what they're doing, and thereby we also have a good understanding of AI and our clients also get benefited from it, and our articleship students also go through a good experience. Let us channelize their energies and also elevate ourselves in the progress. This is probably one homework I'm trying to give. From an ethics perspective, I think we have discussed bias, privacy, and transparency. Challenges, yeah, this is fine. So that's about it. If anybody's got any questions, as always, I'm happy to answer. And this is my information. Feel free to give me a call. I'm based out of Bangalore, and I'm always ready to have a conversation on AI or any technology-based topic. Thank you so much for everyone. You've been a lovely audience. I don't know if I've shot over the time. If I have, I apologize for that, but thank you so much. Oh no, I'm happy. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, happy to answer. Have I overshot?
Thanks for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Uh, as practicing chartered accountants as a medium-sized, mid-sized companies, firms, how do we make sure that our data, clients' data is safe when we are using open source?
This is a very important question that you have asked, because at least in the Indian context, the way we manage personal data, forget soft copies, even hard copies, the way how Indians manage it is not how it's supposed to be done. How many times have we given our Aadhaar photocopies for getting a phone SIM card? How many times have we give the same sensitive information to so many people? How do you know that they're not misusing it? So A, there is a prevailing problem. But what we can do, A, is this. I believe we need to, like, at least in organizations, in mid-sized organizations, large organizations, what we have seen them do is they've got something known as an acceptable use policy, right? So what that means is, first, it's a policy enforced from the top management that you cannot use open source systems, or you can't use freeware. It should be in a system where we have a license to use. Because whenever you pay for something and use it from a license perspective, there's a certain degree of surety that your data will not be misused. For example, I go to ChatGPT and I upload my client's show cause notice. A, what's going to happen is I'm solving my problem. But B, we are exposing our client information to OpenAI. The computer is learning from it, which is again not a bad thing. But the problem is the identity of the client has been made public. And the problem with internet data, because it's soft copy, like I said, it's very easy to create 100 different Einsteins in one go. We don't know where the data will go. The best way that we can enforce is through very strong policies from the top management, like an acceptable use policies, making a positive list of applications that can be used, practicing CAs, investing in good tools. Like for example, there's a tool known as AI PPT, which can be used to make presentations, just making an example. Maybe go for the paid version of it, the terms and conditions are different. Making a whitelist and sending it. Obviously, for a mid-sized CA firm or a large CA firm, you have the ability of having IT teams monitor and track what is being done on your computers. There's a free tool known as Active Track. You can just check this out, ACTIVTRAK. It will evaluate if your company employees are uploading data on wrong sites, or visiting incorrect sites, and where there's a potential of data exposure. That's what I would suggest. It has to be something being pushed from the top of the organization. That's what I can think.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes, sir.
What maybe if you allow me to add
Please,
something.
please.
So what typically any open source tool for that matter, if it is an on-prem solution for which you host on your own server, or maybe or your own private AWS or Azure or whatever, you can manage that and you can guardrail it properly. If it is a SaaS solution, you always have that vulnerability that you don't know where the data is going, who is having access to the data. Whenever we access some tool online, we always say terms and conditions, yes, agree, and we proceed, right? So that's not the ideal thing to do. But yeah, open source, online SaaS, you always have the vulnerability, provided, as Bharath mentioned, the proprietary tools which you pay for, you always can ask a lot of questions. When you don't pay for anything, you obviously can't ask a question. And if you have it on-prem, you have a better control. So you can put certain data protection measures over there, encrypting data, address. Not all are SaaS-based.
Not all are SaaS-based, yeah. Some of them can be implemented on your own private servers. Like what many organizations have done, they didn't want to expose their data to OpenAI. So they made a deal with OpenAI where they install a copy of OpenAI on their own servers. And it came in the news also. So that data was not being sent to OpenAI. Their version of ChatGPT was learning based on the context of the company's data. But that's obviously a very expensive affair. But as Sir mentioned, we are not using super expensive tools or very large AI. We're just introducing AI in our work. That's where we are right now. So maybe considering SaaS solutions after reading the license terms, how the data is processed processed and things like that would definitely help. The second thing what can be done is, if it is a SaaS-based solution, we as auditors we as customers have a right to ask a report known as a SOC 2 report, a System, Organization and Control 2 report. It covers areas like security, availability, privacy, confidentiality and integrity. SOC 2, a SOC 2 type 2 report. Right? If we are doing stat audits on SaaS systems, we typically take a SOC 1, SOC 2 as an auditor, but even as a customer, we have a right to ask. In that report, they will mention how they're processing your data, where they're storing your data. Using such means, we can at least get some comfort or evaluate the product. Can we go for it or not? Something of that sort. But I do agree with sir that there is an approach where we can implement it in our own systems. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, in the present scenario, I'm taking up something very sensitive
No worries.
with NFRI going on. Tell me, I take a decision as an auditor by using a AI tool, but it will not stand the scrutiny or it will not come to the support of the situation. Whether this problem was thought or addressed, or I don't know what it is.
Okay. So, what is NAFRA doing? What is PCAB doing? What is the FRC in UK doing? They're basically regulating the auditors. They're trying to ask this question, hey, you are an auditor, you have issued an opinion. Do you have sufficient and appropriate audit evidences? And B, have you taken the right professional judgments? To make it really simple, that's what they're interested in. A, do we have evidences? B is the judgments, and that's what sir has just talked about. We may, as part of our work, let's go maybe a few years back in time when AI was not there, we used to talk to our clients, we used to talk to our managers, we used to talk to our juniors, staff, seniors, and interns. Sometimes the problems were large. All of us used to do a team discussion and take a decision. But the decision was signed off by the signing partner. The signing partner made sure he did the right due diligence of understanding the problem, understanding the context, evaluating the evidences, considering the best course of action, and he has documented it. This is called a professional judgment. Now, the only difference right now is we have a sixth team player, young Einstein, where we have spoken to AI. Now, remember one thing, whenever AI is there, like I said, AI is not a substitute for human intelligence or natural intelligence. It is artificial intelligence. It is a young Einstein helping you. So we should not blindly trust. Even if a person has 160 IQ or 80 IQ, if he or she goes to school, the teacher will evaluate the homework and evaluate the exams, the answers written in the exams equally, right? Similarly, we as chartered accountants, if we are relying on AI, let us document why we relied on it, how we have slightly deviated from what the AI said and what the team has said. And as long as we have it documented, as long as it's reasonable, I don't think it should be a problem. The thing is, what NAFRA is going to ask is, are you aware about the ramifications of the professional judgment? If you say, yes, I'm aware of this risk, I accept it, it's within my risk appetite, then nobody should have a problem. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
No. I think there's a question there. Yeah.
Meta AI and all in our mobiles.
Yeah.
So whatever conversation we are going to have between AI, Meta AI and me, is it restricted to myself and my system, or it is goes to the public also?
See what specific conversations you have. Like for example, I just showed you my ChatGPT. What you can see over here is something known to me. Unless I make it public, nobody can see it. So that risk is always safe. I mean, it's not going to materialize. The risk is how ChatGPT is going to use it, how Meta AI is going to use it. Now that's where we also need to be a little bit careful, because we are giving WhatsApps, Facebooks a lot of permissions in the phone in general. Without AI itself, it has access to our contacts, our photos, our phones, our conversations. So they're already using your data. So that's a bigger risk, which is already present. B, whatever questions we ask, A, it will definitely help the AI model to understand. B, your context-specific data is between you and the AI alone. The only drawback is that information is known to Meta as well. So let's say you put in Meta AI, you upload your client's show cause notice on Meta AI. It is possible. Then Facebook is aware that your client has a potential tax problem. So we need to be responsible about it. We need to be very careful what we do. And that's why organizations, at least the large organizations, they prevent people from using WhatsApps or any unauthorized retail customer communication or AI systems. They have a license, they have a proper policies, and they've made proper procurements. What's the best thing you can do is, because we can't purchase a open AI, right? We can introduce a practice known as anonymization or pseudonymization. Now, what is that? So in Word, what we'll do is we have the show cause letter in Word open in our laptop. The name is written Bharath Rao, staying in Bangalore, having this email ID, having this PAN number. Do a find replace. Replace Bharath Rao with Shah Rukh Khan. Replace email ID with something else. That is called anonymization. And if you maintain a mapping internally in your laptop, okay, that Bharat means Shah Rukh Khan, and if you keep it like that, you know what AI tells, you can just change the context into whatever the name is. That is called anonymization. That is a cost-effective, you're not breaking any rules, you're not revealing your client's information to AI or whatever, and you're still safe. This is the best approach I would suggest. And that's what I feel all of us need to do, because it's not AI needs to be responsible, we also need to be responsible with AI as well, right? So it goes both ways. Anonymization and pseudonymization. Find, replace, simple. No? All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was an excellent deliberation by CA Bharath Rao. On behalf of Bengaluru Branch and then all the members present here, round of applause for that wonderful session, sir. Can I request CA CP Jain, our Managing Committee member, to come out to dais and then hand over a memento as a token of gratitude and respect. Thank you, sir. Now we shall break for tea and then